Understanding how your income compares to your peers is essential for making sure you're getting paid a fair wage and what you're worth by the marketplace, as well as making sure you're on the correct path to financial freedom. According to the Central Statistics Office, the average income across the entire country in 2020 was €50,076, and 64% of Irish people earned less than this, while 36% earned more than this. So it's clear to see that the people earning more than the average income are earning significantly more than those earning below the average, which makes it even more useful to know what your peers are earning. So you can use this as a marker to make sure you're not being underpaid. Companies are constantly earning more and more every year, while salaries are not increasing at the same rate. So it appears you do have to fight to increase your salary. For those aged 15 to 24, the average income was €23,414. With this salary, you would take home €1,754 per month, which is going to be hard for young professionals living in Dublin, as the average rent for a room in Dublin is €680 per month. That would leave you with €1,074 for everything else, like food, investing, social life, savings. So it's going to be tough. And in my experience, you would be incredibly lucky to get a room that cheap in Dublin. One way you can reduce your total expense is to get a remote working job and live in a more remote part of the country, so you can spend significantly less money on rent than in the cities. If you can decrease your rent by $200 per month, this will save you $2,400 per year, which is the same as getting a 10% salary increase. Plus, general living expenses are going to be a lot less outside of Dublin. Those aged 25 to 29 had an average income of €39,233, meaning after tax they would be taking home €2,696. This rent now becomes a lot more palatable at just 26% of your net income. Ideally, you want to have your rent to be less than 33% of your gross income, but obviously the less you can make it, the better, within reason. You obviously don't want to live in an unsafe or dirty house either. Once you account for this rent expense, you will leave just over €2,000. Investing $500 per month into an S&P 500 index for the next 40 years would mean that at the end of the 40 years, you would have €1.5 million before taxes. You could also put this $500 into a savings account and save up to get a mortgage to buy a house. $500 per month for 12 months is $6,000. So you could buy a house after just 4 years. House prices in Ireland have increased over 130% since 2013, and the severe lack of supply means this increase only seems more and more likely to continue. Once you purchase a house in Ireland, you can rent out rooms in the house for up to €14,000 per year, tax-free. Plus, the price of the house will also be increasing in value. It's going to be very difficult to manage a rental property on top of having a full-time job, plus the stress of having to worry about taking on so much debt. But it's a great tool for building wealth, and probably the best one in Ireland because of the really high taxes on every other investment. The average income for those aged 30 to 39 was €50,195, meaning you would take home €3,179 every month after tax, which does seem like a lot, but at this stage most people will be getting married and starting a family. So it's important to make the most of it while you're still young and start investing as soon as possible. So when you do start a family, you have some savings built up, and if you're lucky enough, you have some investments made to take the weight off your salary as the only income. In Ireland, you do get some allowances for each child, but again, it's better if you can avoid relying on this by getting into good habits and managing your money wisely when you're younger. For those aged 40 to 49, the average income was €57,059. They will be taking home €3,474 after tax. For those aged 55 to 59, the average income was €54,786, and they'll be taking home €3,376 per month. And for those aged 60 and over, the average income begins to decrease slightly to €42,888, because obviously a big portion of people in this age group are now living off their pensions instead of an increasing salary. It's important to be aware of what your peers are earning so that you can make sure you're being paid fairly by your employer. And when you go to negotiate your salary, that you have good data backing up your arguments. It was found that those who ask for pay increases earn an average of an extra $1 million throughout their employment when compared to their peers that don't ask. Companies keep earning more and wages are not rising to match this growth. They just pay you less to increase their margins. Having the knowledge of what the market is paying is one of the most important things to know when trying to negotiate your salary.